right? I don't need translations into my natural language, right? I don't need to go and read lexicons and stuff for my natural language
Yes,
that I
brother.
speak.
If the Bible was written in Spanish, translated in English, brother,
But it's
you
in
would have to
Hebrew.
go back to the Spanish
I'm
language
only
if
talking
you
about the
want to get
Hebrew,
what the
brother,
understanding of
because he
what
don't
the
listen.
original text means, brother.
Do
That's what
you
you have
under
to
wait
do.
a minute? Maybe
You
you don't
cannot render
understand.
the English and be like, well, the English says this.
Right now, you're having a problem understanding basic English. I'm not talking about English. I'm talking about Hebrew. If I speak Hebrew, I don't need a lexicon to translate something into English
Oh,
for me because I already speak the Hebrew, right?
and you're right, exactly.
I
So
disagree with
exactly.
you.
So a
Okay,
person speaking Hebrew, so
okay.
a
Let me
person
finish. Let me
understands
finish.
Hebrew
Don't don't
and
don't
they're
get
reading
so excited. You
exactly what
gotta
I'm
cut
reading,
me.
they
Hey,
would, if they
don't
understand
get
these
so excited.
words.
You gotta cut me off. Let me finish. So if a person speaks a language and they don't need a lexicon, your whole argument about the translation in English flies out the damn window because I'm not talking about the translation in English. I'm talking about the literal Hebrew.
Brother, that's what it means in the language, not what it means in the English. What are you talking about? Brother, that's why you have to listen
Why
and
you
have
keep
listening
talking about
skills.
English?
And this is why I even try to explain it to you like a child. I said, if the Bible was
That
written in
boy IQ is
Spanish
low as
and
hell.
it was translated in English, you would still have to go back to the Latin language
My
to
whole
understand the
point is
original text.
let's just talk
So
about
when
the
you go,
Hebrew.
brother,
Fuck the
and when you go
English
into
translation.
when you go into the lexicon is giving you the meaning of the Hebrew
Okay.
word in Hebrew. That's what it's talking about. Not
Okay, so it
if you
says,
want the
it
English
says,
understanding. Hold on. If you want the English understanding, then you will look at the KJV rendering or the outside biblical usage. This is why I told you under your Bible hubs and Blue Letter, it will show you your Hebrew Strongs, your outline biblical usage, your KJV, your Brown Briggs lexicon. Your brother, it gives you all different things that you can understand the stuff. So if you want to get the English definition of it, then render it whatever the KJV renders it
Got you,
in
Spaz King.
English. Render it under what the outline biblical usage, because that's just basically other biblical dictionaries of what they rendered that word.
Everything's
But if
about
you want to go
dictionaries.
into the
You fuck with the
understanding of what
original
the word
language.
means in the language, yes, you need to go to the Hebrew Strongs. You need to go to the Chaldean lexicons and these lexicons, because these lexicons is helping people that like you who speak English who want to understand what these words mean in the Hebrew.
okay, Courtney got his hand up. Go ahead, Court.
Yeah, I was actually going to agree. That's Jose on the video, right? I
Mm-hmm.
agree with a lot of what Jose said. I just I disagree on the aspect of understanding the Strong's Concordance as a lexicon. It's not a lexicon. Strong's Concordance gives you whatever translation is your base text, definitions, and usages. It's not a lexicon.
Say what,
Lexicons
my brother?
articulate. I know. I'm just saying we should not understand the Strong's Concordance as a lexicon. That's all I'm saying. It's a concordance. That's why it's called Strong's Concordance. And concordances function by means of telling you whatever a base translation, however that base translation renders particular roots or particular nouns, particular verbs. That's what it's doing. It's not an exhaustive articulation of word usage throughout history, which is what a lexicon attempts to do, especially for a foreign language, i.e., like English or Spanish or what have you. But I, other than that, I agree with most of what Jose just said because, yeah, the creation is more or less out of chaos. Chaos already is. And this is perspective.
He believes it's
This
a
perspective,
restoration, though, Courtney, not a creation. Just so you know.
he already stated that you only get two instances of creation in Genesis 1. So you can't attempt to say, by means of isolating his general outline, which acknowledges aspects of creation being formed in the narrative, you can't isolate that aspect, his general outline, from what he's also acknowledging. That's being disingenuous to his own disposition.
But I did want to say that
So
they do. I did want to say, sorry, Court. I did want to say that they do use the lexicon and the Strongs.
scholars do not use strong.
No, they absolutely
Linguists do
said
not.
that.
No, they might have said that, but I'm letting you.
Well,
Scholars do
well,
not use
well,
Strongs.
well, you do have certain scholars, of course, like what James White. you have people that
He
use
doesn't use Strong's.
just to make their points.
James
But
White doesn't use Strong's.
but usually I would say that because Strong's was written by a Jewish man, right? I forgot his name. I think his name is James Strong, right? Something like that.
Yes.
It basically, like I said, it's just a Jewish interpretation. So, like I said, people can try to use that because, again, they'll try to stay away from, like I said, the KJV or the outline biblical usage. So they'll try to say, well, the Strong's is basically like a Jewish man's interpretation of what that word is rendering. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with like
Yeah, like
Well, maybe I misinterpreted that scholars are just people who's Hebrew speaking people. Because when I looked it up, I didn't look up scholars. I looked up people who's Hebrew speaking people, and they do say when they study, they do use both the lexicon and the strong. So I could have looked up the wrong
well,
for it.
okay. No, you may have. I'm just letting you know that a concordance is not a lexicon. A concordance is basically a dictionary for the foreign language based upon a base text. So the King James.
Right. No, I was saying that because the question that James had, right, was, do Hebrew speaking people, why would they need the either one, right? If they already speak the language. So when I looked it up, I misinterpreted his question for scholars instead of just Hebrew speaking.
There go Hemi.
But we have
There go Hemi.
Big Hemi.
English, and we have a dictionary for English words because a lot of us don't understand certain words because certain words have multiple meanings. You know what I mean? So even your language, you can use a dictionary. Like the word world, what I'm saying? The word world doesn't mean one thing, even according to the American dictionary. I believe it's like 7 definitions, you know what I'm saying, of what that word can mean.
I would say even that is slightly off of what I was trying to talk about because I wasn't really focused on that myself. That's kind of him trying to push what he wanted to talk about. Focus was on determined that it's a restoration and actually prove that this is my assertion, and then from there he started that the concordance is based on the actual language, and you have the concordance stuff, and I was more or less saying, well, a lot of these people were, since they were old enough to read in biblical version of the Hebrew, like they're taught directly from their Torahs that they have and everything to read it in that language. For them, I mean, of course, you may have to reference some things every now and then, but for the most part, they're actual scholars and stuff. They actually know this stuff. They don't
So like
time I talk what these I know because I know a whole thing right around over here, and we go over there and talk to them folks because they interested in me because my DNA has Jewish in it. Like,
but it's on Big Jose. No smoke.
Jose. Wavy? Damn lie. He was looking for you. Was already on the show, and it was Jalen in the bar. And I told him you got to wait because I got debates coming up. Wavy ain't reached out to me for shit.
Bro, hold on, wait, cause I could even probably show you where Wavy even put it on the group chat saying how you and me are supposed to have a debate, bro. He was trying to even promote it.
I don't care what you and Wavy talk about. Nigga, ain't nobody talk to me about nothing. You talking about what y'all talk about.
Why are you looking for that? I'm not trying to interrupt y'all's organization of a debate setup. That's cool and all. But as it relates to even English, like you got to recognize we have multiple different type of dictionaries, even in our own base language as native speakers, demonstrating that words get used differently in different cultural and political and social constructs. So for example, when you go to Webster's dictionary and you look up rape, it's not going to be the same definition word for word exactly as say the Black Law Dictionary. All lexicon is a dictionary for a foreign language. That's it. So Hebrews or Jewish people, they would go to a lexicon in the sense that it is a dictionary, not in the sense that they don't know the language. And that's normative.
Kind of my point. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's normative because that's their native tongue. So for us, yes, they're going to a lexicon, but for them, they're going to a dictionary. It's only different because our natural tongue, our native tongue is not Hebrew. That's where the difference is. But if your native tongue is Hebrew, then yes, you will be utilizing the standard works in lexicography or dictionaries or linguistics. And that would be, as you mentioned earlier, the Chaldean dictionary or lexicon or the Halot. Halot is now seen as surpassing the standard that Chaldean lexicon used to be. So, and same thing for the New Testament. New Testament primary dictionary or lexicon for the New Testament Greek is going to be the BDAG. You might be able to get away using an outdated version of BDAG, but these editions are not yet free resources for everybody to get access to. You have to pay for them. Strong's is free access now. Copywritten is free access. The copyright has passed away, so it's free access internationally. But or even BDB, free access because of the age of those publications. But they've been updated, and so you can get better resources for even more information. You got to remember these dictionaries are limited to the information available at the time of their construction. All of them. So earlier on, like 50 years ago, we had less literary remains from the Near East to even do the root word systemization of meanings. So that's why texts continuously get updated. The more information, the more lexicography work is done, the more updates are needed for the lexicons or all of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little complicated. It really takes a very keen eye, keen ears, and as it relates to Hebrew, this is another interesting aspect as it relates to Hebrew. Ancient Hebrew and modern Hebrew are different for one main reason: the Masoretes. And the Masoretes added dots, vowel markers for proper pronunciation. Now, the interesting thing about the dots and vowel markers is that it's commentary. Is in a lot of ways ad hoc commentary, ad hoc post-prompter hoc commentary, because these dots in this system of vowel pointing is post-Christianity. As such, there's theological implications articulated in the vowel points that cause the text to have different meanings. And the best way I could do this is, or demonstrate this, is Psalm 110. Because Psalm 110 is Yahweh speaking to Adoni or Adonai. There is an ambiguity because of the vowel marking. And arguably the ambiguity goes away once you get down to like either verse 5 or verse 8 in Psalm 110, because the understanding of the one who was receiving this message from Yahweh is also understood to be a supreme Lord, Adonai. So contextually, you can get Yahweh speaking to Adonai, but that's only because of what's going on later on in the text, where the one that's receiving the message or the one that's receiving this honor and glory in light of the narrative as the priest that's going to reign forever at the right hand of the Father or at the right hand of Yahweh. That context gives us the understanding of the identity or the sovereignty of the one that's the focus point of the narrative, i.e. the Adonai that's receiving the message from Yahweh in the first verse. It's even complicated just when you look at the portion of the verse that's not really part of the numbered, because Psalm 110 says a psalm of David, or it's a song about David. So there is some ambiguity there. Translators and interpreters pick and choose, not arbitrarily, but they pick and choose based upon their understanding of the language.
And just
so
just to build on what you were saying, for the people that are more interested about these dots and dashes, right, or called the vowel system. There are three systems where these Jewish people get their vowel systems from. You have the Metris Laconius, you have the Naku, and then you have the Sharuk. So basically, those three systems is basically how these people come up with their modern Hebrew with their dots and dashes.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree, and there is no absolute uniformity in the Masoretic system for the dots and all of that stuff. It's a developed, syncretized thing, where by the time you get to like the major codexes, Aleppo or Leningrad, it's essentially fixed. That's why in our modern critical text of the Hebrew Bible, they use the Leningrad text because it's complete and it's a pretty sound understanding of vocalization of the Hebrew terms. Because yeah, like Christians and Jews, we fight over things like what's going on in Psalm 110, and then when you go back in history, you look at the development and the rejection by the Jews of the two power in heaven theory. That's part of the reason. Again, the Masoretic vowel pointing system is post that Jewish condemnation of the two power in heaven theory. While during the days of Jesus, this was active, live, and prevalent and acceptable. A century later, it's no longer acceptable in Jewish circles. So, I mean, it's part of the reason why it's no longer accepted in Jewish circles is because if they did accept it, then they're possibly giving credence to Jesus in light of the teachings.
So I have a question. So, James, you disagree with Jose's stances?
Not across the board. Like I said, my main focus was on whether it was uh, a story of the beginning of the universe or whether it was a restoration narrative. He pointed out that at the beginning it talks about creation, at the end pretty much it talks about creation, but in the middle he sees it as a restoration. So I'm just trying to figure out where in the text is he getting this restoration. I understand he's taking something such as the earth being formless and void, which is what you would expect with something when you first create it. Uh, he's taking that to say that it's a restoration. I'm just trying to see where in the text itself does it say that this is a restoration.
Jose, you want to answer that?
Oh, like I already said, you have to, like I said, understand the language of what's going on. Because at the end of the day, we keep talking about these dictionaries, right? These lexicons and how they can mean whatever they want, right? And give their own interpretations, like the brother was just saying. But the problem is that none of them, not one of them, is going to render that word as creation when it says "let there be." There's not one dictionary, not one lexicon that's going to list down anything about creation or something coming into existence. All you're going to see throughout the KJV, all the lexicons are being spoken in a past tense, things that were already in existence. Especially, like I said, when it says "let there be light," even when you go into that, well, I'm not going to try to get into that. But like I said, I believe that when it says "let there be light" in verse 2, is talking about Christ, because you look at, again, under the lexicons, one of the titles is, like morning sun, morning light, or light of morning and stuff like that. A title that we see that Christ basically claimed to be in the Book of Revelations. So you know, like I said,
So
like if
Christ
you,
wasn't in the beginning, he was after what, the second day?
it wasn't even the first day.
Let me pull it up real
Second
quick.
verse, second verse. That's when the Most High is hovering the waters. He finds the earth in chaos and stuff like that. Third verse, he says, and then he said, "Let there be light." Right, and it was so. That was before the first day. So the first thing that was ever created was Christ. This is why even Christ tells you that he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end.
Okay, let me read this real quick if you can hear me. It said this is Genesis 1 and 3, and I'm gonna read through verse 5. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. This is what you're talking about. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness night. Now, evening and morning were the first day. So this is talking about the first day, just to be clear. And so I'm just trying to understand because this is the first day. If it's the first day,
Yeah,
it's
right.
clearly
That's
the
what, yeah,
beginning,
exactly.
right?
And I just said that Christ is the beginning, so that would be the first time. Yes, it's the first day.
Well, I was just pointing out because you said it wasn't the first day yet.
I didn't say it
So
wasn't the first day.
oh,
Did
okay.
not say that.
I hope this is recorded. Anyone can go back
I
and
hope
look
it
at
is,
it. The
bro.
brother very much
And
said that.
even if that's so, it will still be still constituted as the first thing. He was the first thing created. But
Okay, so
but
that's kind.
it was
That's
not.
kind
And
of
it said that it's separated from the light and day. What is that light? Do you think it's the sun? Is that what you think
well.
it is?
You just said that it's the first
I'm
thing
asking you a
created.
question. Do
I
you believe
agree.
that that's the sun?
I agree that it's the first thing. You can't make me. I agree that it's the first thing created, but that kind of goes against what you were saying just a moment ago, where only verse 1 is talking about creation. But now, verse 3 through verse 5, you just said it's talking about creation. So you're going back on what you said earlier.
What are you talking about? When did I say that verse 5 was about
Earlier,
creation?
you said that only verse 1, where it says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." You said
Yes.
only that was talking about creation, right?
Yes.
Then
Uh-huh.
just not even 2 minutes ago, when I read verses 3 through verse 5, you said that that was talking about creation the
No,
first
I
day.
did not. No, I did not say that was a
Hey, am
creation.
I tripping or did
Hold
y'all
on.
hear that
Hold
me
on.
say
I
that?
said, brother, everybody heard me say when it says that let there be light, it's talking about a past tense, meaning that this thing was already in existence.
Okay, so do you think that the
Was
person
in existence, okay?
Jose
do
don't know
you
what he
think
be
that the
talking
person
about.
who is writing Genesis is writing in present tense
What do
or
you say,
past
Justin?
tense?
Talking about let there be light in past tense.
Well, that's what it means in the Hebrew, bro.
Jesse, let them finish what they doing, please.
Do
Thank you.
you believe that the person who wrote Genesis was writing in the present tense or past tense for past events?
How's it going?
He's basically restoring things, bringing things back into
Was he writing in the
history.
present tense or past tense for past events?
What do you mean by past events?
Because the person who's writing this, most people would attribute it to Moses or Moses' scribe.
Okay.
Who's writing this, right?
Okay.
He's writing this around 1600 BCE at the earliest, if you're going to give him that, around the Exodus time period. So that's around 1600 BCE for some people. Some people earlier, some later. So obviously, the beginning of the universe was at least thousands. Even if you are a strict biblicalist, it's thousands of years before the time when the person is writing it. So obviously, he's going to write in past tense. No one's going to describe ancient events in present tense. That doesn't make sense, right?
That's freaking crazy, bro. What you just said was freaking crazy.
Explain how.
Because it's not talking about past tense or future tense. It's just giving you the account of Genesis chapter 1. That's all it's doing.
Okay, so when
It's
it says
not
in the beginning,
brother, you're saying that. So basically, what you're saying that every single text in the Bible has to be taken in past tense because these writers
no, I didn't say
came
that.
back thousands of years. Oh, that's exactly what you said. You said that
No,
these
I didn't
writers
say
that
every single text.
obviously
I
because
said
it
I'm
wasn't
talking about
Moses
just
that wrote it, right? So that these scribes that came in 1600 BC, right, came up with their basically their ideology of using it in a
Isaiah
past
was
tense,
written in present
right?
tense.
Well, brother, that's not the only
Jeremiah
thing.
was written in
Books of
present
the
tense.
Tanakh, brother, you have to hear the argument. Every scripture is past tense. We don't have
I
none of
disagree.
the original scrolls of any given time. We don't have nothing. We don't have the original
We don't
scrolls of
have to.
Moses.
It matters
We
when
don't
they
have the
wrote it.
original
It doesn't
scrolls.
matter what we have today.
So even your point about the 1600 BC, right? But then we have the silver scrolls, which goes around like what 500 and something BC.
900 BCE.
No, 500
900
and something. The
BCE for
silver
the
scrolls
silver
was around
Amalek
like 500
scroll.
or something. It was around the time of the
1685.
Babylonian captivity or Assyrian, I believe.
Yes, 600 BCE.
Yeah, 600. There you go. Around the time of the
I'm going
Assyrian
to pull it
Babylonian.
up real
Thank you,
quick.
brother. So we have these scrolls at certain time periods, right? Now,
I don't see what
these are
those scrolls have to do with
obviously,
when it was
wait,
written.
hold
Though.
on, 500, hold on, brother. These scrolls are obviously after the time period of the so-called prophets. The Septuagint is a beautiful example, is the oldest version of what you call the Torah, right? And that goes around like 200 something BC, right? That's the most complete Torah on the earth, the Septuagint.
Being
So
complete is irrelevant
yes, how is it not irrelevant?
because it doesn't matter what we can find today. What matters is when they wrote it.
Exactly.
So
So
no,
exactly.
let
And
me finish,
your
bro. Let me
stance
finish.
is
You just
that
went
these
for
guys.
3
So
minutes.
obviously everything
You
must be in the
just went
past
for
tense,
3
then, right?
minutes. Can I
So all
explain my
authors,
point?
according to the Old and New
Can you
Testament,
let me
you have to
explain my
look in
point
the
instead of
past
acting
tense.
like a little child and going off as soon as I say 2 words? Okay. So my point is this: what matters is when the person wrote it, and how did they write it. Like for instance, you have certain things that are written in the present tense. So you can't sit here and say that because I'm saying this about Genesis, that therefore it means I have to apply that to every single scripture. What you're doing is moving the goalpost to not focus on Genesis 1. So I'm going to go back to Genesis 1, right? And most people have it those silver amulet scrolls anywhere between early 6th century or before, just to be clear. So now going back to Genesis, you saying that it's not giving us a time period. It isn't written in present tense or past tense. That's what you said. But the craziest thing is that the very first 3 words in the beginning are past tense. So how is it not in past tense or present tense? And then also in verse 5, it says evening and morning were the first day, which is also past tense. I mean, I can go on with just about every day they talk about. At the end of the day, it's past tense, no matter what language you're in. So can you explain why it's in past tense, but you keep saying it doesn't have
Because I
past
already
tense or
told you,
present?
because it's talking about restoration. What you can't display, what you're ignoring is how you cannot display how it's creation.
I can. Let me do it in verse 3 because it says it's the
Go ahead.
first day, right? So if it's the very first day, how do you have a day before the first one? Can you explain that one to me? How do you have a day before the first day, sir?
When the Most High said, He created the heavens and earth, in verse
Mm-hmm.
1,
Mm-hmm.
that was before the first day, sir.
Where does it say that?
In verse 1.
Show me
That's
where it says this is before the first
the
day.
only verse where you actually see creation in verse 1 and in verse 26. That's the only thing you see creation in verse 1. When God said he created the heavens and the earth.
So
And we
that
all
so
know,
you
hold on, sir, and we
okay,
all
go
know
ahead.
according to prophets like Isaiah, prophets like Joel, that when the Most High creates things, He creates things perfect. He created mankind perfect in His own likeness, His own image. He
Irrelevant.
created everything in perfect according to the prophets of old, right? But now all of a sudden, we're in verse 2, we're reading chaos. He's basically finding the earth in destruction, in chaos.
Mm.
So basically, something has happened to the earth because obviously the heavens is perfect and the earth is perfect, right? But now he's finding the earth in
It
chaos.
doesn't say that though.
Obviously, something happened to the earth, right? Which would explain the ice age. This is why he's
Okay,
hovering
so
over the waters.
he
Hold on.
believes in
This
some
is
type
why
of
he's
gap
hovering over
theory
the
or
waters,
something
which
that
would
isn't in the
explain the
text.
ice age, right? According to science.
It's called the
That's
flood.
what the
That's
ice age was
what explains
basically.
the ice age, sir.
The earth was basically covered in ice, right?
That's called the flood, sir. That's what that's called.
No, the flood doesn't happen until the time of Noah. Not
That's what the ice age explains, sir. The ice age ain't the beginning of the damn universe, sir.
okay. So the Most High finds the earth
Damn,
in
this is
water and ice
ridiculous.
and whatever, right?
Okay,
Then he
well,
finds it in
what
chaos.
I'm going through is
And
verse
then
1
he's
through verse
actually
5 is
basically
all the first day,
restoring,
sir.
he's restoring the natural order of the
Verse
earth.
1 through verse
On
5
day
is all the
one,
first day, sir.
he establishes the light, right? Bringing it back into existence.
No, verse
Yes, it is,
1
sir.
through
That's
verse
what it means in
5
the
is the first.
Hebrew. Brother, at the end of the day,
Then read it
brother,
in the Hebrew and show
don't
me
worry,
that.
but you know what, brother? Like I said, I'll debate him on it, and then once you actually see the
Read
evidence
it in
on
the
the
Hebrew
screen,
right now
you
and
can
show it, sir.
obviously
Quit
gonna
making
see the
claims you can't
Because,
validate.
brother, I can easily end this argument right now
Then
by
do
bringing
it.
up the simple fact that I can prove that there were people before Adam. That Adam got
That's
the
irrelevant
same.
to what I'm
Hold on.
talking about.
Adam got the same commandment that Noah got after the flood, to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the
We've
earth.
only
We need
made
to
it to verse
repopulate.
5, sir.
This is
Quit
why.
running other places.
And this is why you want to talk about people being immature.
We're only in verse
what you're
5,
doing right
sir.
now. You're being childish because you don't want the people to hear the logic. This is
I'm
what
just pointing
demons
out that
do.
we're in verse
And
5.
this is
We haven't
what
even made
demons
it that
do.
far
They
yet.
start over talking so people cannot understand the argument going
I mean,
forward.
you're rambling at this point.
No,
You're
I
not
am
even addressing
proving
what
to
I'm
you
saying
that you
anymore.
can't get around this point. Because at the end of the day, if I was to
I'm
ask you, I would ask anybody on this panel when
sitting on
Noah
verse
gets the
5, sir.
commandment of being fruitful and to replenish the earth, everybody knows, even your Jewish rabbis, you Christians will all say to repopulate the earth. That Noah was given
That's
the
fine.
commandment to repopulate the earth.
That's
But
fine.
yet, when you go back into Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, you see that Adam got the same exact commandment
That's
as
great.
Noah, to be fruitful, to multiply, and replenish the earth. What if Adam was the first person?
It's still
What
on
does he
day
have to
1, sir.
repopulate? What does he have to repopulate? Please explain that,
I'm gonna.
sir.
Okay, you got your
What?
question. I'm gonna.
What?
All right, you
But
got
you know
your
what I could
question. Let
do?
me
I
answer.
could go into
Do
day
you want an
4.
answer?
I don't know what I could
Okay,
do to
I'll
you
wait.
in the Hebrew. I could go to day 4 and show you that,
You
man,
seem
sir.
to be
That's the difference
ignoring. You
between
seem to
you
not want an
Christians
answer.
and you Jews.
Maybe I'm
You
muted.
guys
Let
do
me
not
check.
like going
You
back to
don't want an
the
answer. Okay.
biblical text and find out what these words mean. Because again, on day 4, I can show you a man being in the Hebrew language when it says God said, "Let all living creatures that was created on the 4th day." Go to that word "living creature." Go to that word
Got
"living
you.
creature." You know what's going to say? The breath of life, man, person, soul,
Got you.
him, her, things of that nature. You know what you're not going to see in any lexicons or any dictionaries? Whales, animals, monkeys, giraffes. You're not going to see none of that nonsense. So you can't even say that it's a creation of animals. You can't even go that route.
We're
Brother,
at
I'm
verse
going to
5,
destroy
sir. Why are
all
you
you
way
guys
at
with the
28?
lexicons, with the language and everything, just like I would do with the New Testament for all you Christians that talk about this whole salvation for everybody nonsense and talk about revelations and all that. Brother, the language is going to
I'm
destroy
not moving the
all that
topic.
nonsense, brother.
Okay, got you. Now, back on verse 5, since he keeps trying to run from it. Look, he about to run out the damn door. He got his ass whooped so bad. Back to verse 5. It says, it's the first day. He has yet to show me a single day before the first day. Verses 1 through verse 5
I
is
already
all
did. I
talking
already
about
did.
the
And everybody
first
saw when I
day.
mentioned verse
That's
1.
it.
Everybody saw it.
Show
So when God
it
said that,
to
when
us.
God said
Show us
He
in the
created the
Hebrew,
heavens
sir.
and the earth, brother, I
Hey,
already
I
chopped
waited
your
till you
head
were
off
done,
with this
sir.
argument.
I
And
waited
I
till
already
you were
told you,
done.
according to the prophets,
I waited till you were
prophets like
done. You
Isaiah,
spazzing
that when
out,
the
sir.
Most High does
Hold
create,
on,
You're
brothers.
spazzing out. I waited till you were done.
Hold on, brothers. James, would you take the debate?
Take the debate. I can if he can explain to me how
take it.
verse
Take it.
1 through 5 ain't the first day. I'll take the debate if he can explain to me how verses 1 through 5 is not all talking about the first day.
Brother, I already proved it in verse 1 when he said he created the heavens and the earth. And then I'm going to destroy you in that debate.
Show where another day
I'm going
happened.
to show you prophet after prophet that tells you that everything he created was
show
perfect.
me more
I
than
can go to
one
the
day
book of
between
Job.
verses
I can
1
go to
and
the book
5,
of Job
please.
and tell you when Job was trying the Most High, and the Most High said, "Hey,
If this
Job,
is the way the dude
curl up your
communicates, why debate him? He
loins like
don't
a
listen to
man
shit
and
you
answer
say
me these questions. Who
and
built
answer
that?
shit
Who
you
built
ask
this?"
him.
Brother, everybody knows according to the Old Testament that when Most High creates things, He creates things perfect. So in verse 1, that is the heavens was
Can you
created
show
perfect,
me
and
more
so
than
was the
one
earth,
day
brother.
between
You
verses
cannot
1
say
and
that
5?
the
Yes or
heavens wasn't
no?
created perfect either. Is that
Okay, Jose,
Can
calm
you show
down.
me more
So,
than one day between verses 1 and 5, please? That's all I'm asking to do. That simple question. More than one day taking place between verses 1 and verse 5. That's all I asked him. And I'm done after that.
you at the door. Maybe somebody's at his door. Yeah, you can hear somebody at his door. So, Jose, he's asking.
Now, let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you a question. To the sister
Only
that
when you
just
answer
asked me
mine can you ask me a question.
that I was at the door. No, I'm not going to ask you because you're going to just be dishonest. I'm going to ask the sister that was just here, right? Let's say in a scenario of the Matrix, right? The Matrix is basically a restoration story, right? Things that got destroyed and got basically redone, right? In the theory of the Matrix. So if in the Matrix, when they destroyed the world and restarted it, would that constitute a day 1 also?
Yeah.
Okay, then
I
that's
would say no,
so.
because
So
there
how does
was a
that?
world
So how
before
does
that.
your? So how does what James just said debunk me? Because that's exactly what I'm
I
saying.
think
That
so.
basically
What
it's
I
like
get,
the Matrix. Basically, the Earth was destroyed, found in
We're
destruction,
not living
and
in the
now he's
matrix,
starting
sir.
things over. So yes, the day one does not disprove that things weren't in existence before.
well,
If
I've
there's a
heard
day
that
one,
other
there is no
cultures.
before, sir. That's
I
called
heard
eternity.
that I've heard other cultures say that this is like not the first time the world existed. So could that be something linked to what you guys are talking about? Because I really
No,
don't know much
because the
about the
first
Bible.
verse says, Ivory, that God created the
This is
heavens and the
like
earth. That
James.
makes
It's
it
not
very
Ivory.
clear. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I
That's
call the
okay.
wrong name?
That's
Um,
okay.
I, I apologize, but it says in the first verse that God created the heavens and the earth. So that's the creation right there. He even agreed that it says that in the first verse. So we're starting
And what's
with the
the Hebrew
creation.
word, brother
Okay,
James?
but
What's
hey
the
man,
Hebrew
hold
word?
up, bro. I'm
What's the
talking
Hebrew
to her.
word for
Why
creation
you gotta
in
interrupt
verse
me?
one? What's the
Why do
All
you
Hebrew
right.
have to
word?
So
interrupt
all
me?
right. So what's
Why do
the
you have to
Hebrew
interrupt
word?
me? Is your
So
IQ that low that you can't have composure?
can y'all give me the Hebrew word for creation and
You the
what it
one
would
harping
mean?
on it. Go ahead. Tell us the word, brher. You got to Google it real quick.
We're gonna go to Hebrew Strong's. We get the definition and
Yeah,
everything.
I know.
She
You
wants
should
to learn
know
what
it the
that
way
word
you arguing. You
means.
should
There
know
you
it
go.
on like
Wants
the
to
back of
learn.
your hand.
Let's go see what that word is.
Well, him telling me is not going to make a difference unless he shows me.
Exactly. Thank you, sis. Thank you. I'm saying. Like I said, don't believe my words.
Mhm.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna play it out for you guys, right?
We know. The way he talk, he should be able to pronounce it for us.
Did y'all hear it?
No,
No.
we need you to say it. It's Badar while you at it. But go ahead.
Yes, bara.
And what does it mean? Creation?
Okay.
To create.
Yes, means and under the KJV, like I said, under the English, it would mean create. Under outline biblical usage, again, under the dictionaries of Christians, whatever, it means to create. Under the Strong's definition, a primitive word to create, to cut down,
Everything comes back to create, bro. Let's
right?
stop
To
playing.
shape. Okay, yeah, all right. So again, and we all heard the word, right? We all heard the word,
So what
right?
does create mean, sir?
Hold on, wait, hold on. Bara, right? Why don't
Yeah.
we see why don't we see bara in verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down to 26? Why don't we see
Because
bara there? If that's what it means, create, sir. These words mean
the
things.
emphasis,
Brother.
first
That's
verse
the whole
is
point. These
creation
words
of the
mean things.
universe. That's my point. The rest of
So
the story describes that creation. The first
so
verse gives us the creation. The rest of it describes said creation.
No, brother,
That is
he's
what
not
Genesis
describing it.
1 is.
Brother, you're saying that he's creating the sun, he's creating the moon. If he's creating the sun and he's creating the moon, sir, then they would have just put that word bara there, brother.
They did.
That's what he said.
They put it
No,
in
they
verse
did not.
1.
Nowhere
Then
in
they
you see that
describe,
word bara.
brother,
Nowhere when
let me
when he
finish
talks
what
about the
I'm saying.
sun,
Like,
when he talks about the moon, when he talks about the
this
land or
dude
the
just
animals,
rambles
he's
for
not using
hours.
that word. He's not using that word. Brother, you're making stuff up.
Okay,
You're
got you.
making
I
stuff
never
up.
said he's using the word. What I
Okay,
said
then.
is,
So why are you
brother,
saying
let
that
me
he's using
finish. Hey,
creation?
let me
okay,
finish.
wait,
I just let him
Jose, give
finish.
him a
See
chance
what
to,
Jose
to say
doing?
what he's
He don't
saying.
let me
Hold on.
finish a sentence.
I
He
know that.
finishes everything he gotta say. To hell
I
with what
got it.
everybody else
I
gotta
got it,
say.
James. I just told him to give
That's
you a
low
chance to
IQ shit.
I told him to give you a chance to rebut what he's saying.
Okay. Now, like I said, what I said very clearly was that Genesis 1 is telling you what God did. Verse 1. The rest of it explains to you the process of said creation. That's what the rest of it does. So it's not going to sit there and come back and say, he created every time, because it already told you that. This is the process of said creation. That's why the very first day it describes as the first day, not a continuation, not the next day, not the beginning of the process. It calls it the first day. And there's no way around that.
Okay, so your premise is it uses creation in the first day, and then it goes on to tell the process of said creation, right? And
Yeah.
right, am I wrong? That's your
Yeah,
premise.
that's right.
And
That's pretty
and,
much
and Jose, your premise is he only uses creation because he created in the first day, but the rest of the story is a restoration of things that already were there, but for some reason were destroyed.
Exactly,
Yep.
because you know what? Here, sister. Now I'm going to read for you what that word "let there be." When he says "let there be light," let him do this. This is all you're going to read throughout the rest of the chapter. You're not going to
Okay.
see the word, but the Hebrew word for create. You're going to see that word "let there be," and it means. Literally, look what it means. Was, has been.
Okay.
So let there
Okay,
be means has been.
exactly. Right. To become. Right. Come to pass. Right.
And who somebody's background is loud.
Where are you getting that from?
Brother, these are what it means under the Hebrew Strongs, under the lexicon. Right now, I just read from the Brown's lexicon, right, which is a Hebrew lexicon. I read from the KJV. So even in the KJV, under the English, it means has been, was.
Okay, so if something is written in the past tense,
It was there. It has been. Has been,
yes,
meaning it's not
th-
created, brother. If
that's
something
called
has been
past
there,
tense
if I said that
terminology.
this sign has been there for 10 years, I'm not saying that this sign was just being created today.
Okay, I'm reading from the Briggs right now. The first definition in the Briggs is to fall out or to make happen, right?
Come to pass. I'm reading it right now. What are you
The
talking
second,
about?
hold up, brother. I'm reading directly from the lexicon. Unlike you who just claim you're reading from the lexicon. I'm reading directly from it. The second definition, which is B, says to occur, to take place, to come about, or come to pass. So let there be is no matter how you try to play with this, that's the proper way to use it, the way it's being used right there.
And let there be past. And I find
And
it
it
funny that
came to
every time in the
pass
Bible, when
that,
it says let there be past,
brother,
everybody knows
I'm
it's speaking
almost
about
done.
past tense.
I'm
So this is
almost
not
done.
talking about a past tense.
It came to pass. Yes, because the whole story is
Okay,
written in
it's
past tense.
past
I said that
tense,
already.
brother.
The
No,
whole
bro, that's
story is
crazy.
written in past tense because it was written after the fact. I've already said that. And you try to ignore that part that I've already thrown out there. The whole entire story was written after the fact. That was the whole point of me bringing up the Moses and scribe thing and everything like that. So don't forget what I said earlier to try to make a new argument now.
No,
Okay,
brother.
so I don't
You
see.
have to come up with
And
that
it
argument.
means exactly what it
You
says in
have to come up
English.
with that
The
argument because, like
context
you
is
even
being
admitted,
used.
that
I got
in
one
the
more sentence
stories
and
of
you
the
can go, brother. The context being used in English is the same as found in the Greeks, in the Greeks lexicon, bro. So I don't get your point.
So back to my question: would you take the debate?
If he talking about debating, what would be the topic? This is gonna be the only thing we talk was the Genesis story, or restoration, or creation story.
correct,
That would be the topic.
of
I mean
course.
that seems to be what we discussing.
So you guys both agree to take the debate. So I'm gonna get Ivory to talk to DMG and get it set up. Y'all okay with that?
I'm not debating over though. I mean, y'all should know that already. Y'all don't ever see me in there. I mean,
No,
I'm
I
in here
didn't know
today
that.
Why?
I
because I
didn't know
seen
that.
Because
Ivory
you
name in
you
here.
go on
I
Wavy's
didn't
channel,
know that.
brother.
I
You
didn't
can
know
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
He's non-biased. You
Only
could do
reason
it on
I'm here is
Wavy.
because I seen Ivory name pop up in here. That's why I came in here.
I didn't know that. Well, maybe Ivory could get it on another platform. Maybe Sonetta will take it. Y'all willing to go there?
Yeah, I'm down to go anywhere else.
Hmm. I would
Okay.
say, like, how about Wavy's channel? You know what I'm saying? So
I'm down to go to Wavy channel as well. I ain't debating over there ever again. When motherfuckers pick they who gonna win the debate before debates happen and all that shit, I ain't got no time for that type of bullshit.
Ivory ain't at the phone right now. She'll be back in a little while.
Yeah, I'm down, but
hey,
I'm down
hey,
to take the
Jesse.
debate.
Hey, Jesse. You know the brother James?
I don't think Jesse is. Oh, Jesse right there. Where's crazy so? You on mute, Jesse. Jesse gonna be on your ass, Jose, about that clip you put up. Got this man going through some shit.
Yeah. I should be on your top about that. You know what I'm saying? You pretty gay for posting that, brother, but you know, You just couldn't help yourself. You had to clip it. You know what I'm saying? Review the video about
That shit was hilarious, man. It was hilarious.
as many times as you could.
That shit was hilarious.
Dissect your understanding of it.
Hey Jesse, you had to admit that shit was funny as fuck, bro. Come on, bro. I was like,
How
bro,
many
this
times you watched
this
that video?
motherfucker really over here fucking trying to undress in front of men, bro. I was like, yo,
Man, how many times you done watched that video before you posted it?
bro, how many times did you look at the camera while you were undressing? How about that? How many times were you?
Tell me.
How many times did we catch you?
You probably know more than I do.
Recording while you were taking your pants off at the camera, making sure that everybody's watching the camera or some shit. Bro, I want to hear that crap, bro.
Man, you tell me. You probably know more than
Hey,
I
I
do.
can believe that, man. He came in the room throwing up deuces.
Bro, you see Jesse, right? He's undressing, right? And I call him out. I was like, yo, Jesse,
bro,
why are you undressing in front of men? I'm like, yo, why are you dressing in front of men? He's like, ooh, my bad. But if you look at the video, you see Jesse like 3 times look at the camera while he's undressing. Like, bro, don't act like it was a mistake, bro.
Well, Jesse said, in Jesse's defense, wait, hold on. In Jesse's defense, Jesse is very vain. So his computer, his laptop was idle and it was just a black screen. So he was looking at himself, admiring himself. Jesse is very vain. He's such a vain. And you notice every time he come on the phone, he got to come on camera with that smile and go show us himself in the mirror. He got to get in the mirror and everything. He's very vain.
Vain?
Yeah, very vain.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Hey, embrace your vanity, brother.
No, this brother, no, not me.
So, he probably was, how you looking at the black screen, but you could see your reflection. He probably was like, damn, I look good. And didn't realize his ass was on camera with a bunch of men.
Nah, he knew he was on camera with the men. He wanted the men to know he looked good.
Oh, wow. Okay. I tried to help you. I tried to help you, Jesse. I tried to help you.
There you brothers go,
man.
Man.
Getting undressed. I don't know what else you could want.
There you brothers go. No, I wouldn't like that at all, man. Just my camera went blank. Your boy started to get a little comfortable. I should have checked my stuff before I got a little comfortable.
Excuse, Jesse. We buy it, brother. We buy it. We accept your excuse, brother. It was an accident.
Thank you. Thank you for your understanding.
Hey, at some point you got to be understanding. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be combative all the time.
Who is Sister Ivory ass?
Hey, Jesse, what happened to our debate, man? What happened, Doug?
Oh, man, I got too busy.
Okay, bet. That's understandable. I know how that shit is. I be working my ass off. I had to take 2 days off. I ain't took 2 days off in like 3 months.
Exactly. For me to put a PowerPoint, that's gonna be a little something that I gotta spend some time to do, and I just ain't had time to do that. And I ain't want to give you like a half-ass debate where I'm just explaining my points and pulling up on Google.
Ivory can get you out with that.
Look good to the judges in the audience.
We can get you out. We can get you out with that, Jesse. That's not a problem.
Oh, y'all gonna help me with my PowerPoint?
Do your PowerPoint.
What y'all want to debate first?
I forgot what the debate was about. I just remember we were supposed to have one.
Is vanity good for the human experience?
Hey, I would actually argue some level of vanity is good for the human experience. Some level.
Yeah, Jesse
one cannot have pride in themselves without some form of vanity.
Mm-hmm. Jesse's so vain. He come on this camera. He be like, you got to see his outfit. You got to see his hair. You got to see his smile. You got to see everything about him, even his dog.
I see somebody notice everything about him too. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I mean, we go through this shit every day. How could you not know?
So somebody peeping me, huh?
How could you know? Hold on, Jesse. Don't let your pride get you cursed out. Um,
You will take
um,
your ass.
yeah, you can't help but notice that he does it every day. Every day we be like, Jesse, turn the goddamn camera off. Every day, every day.
Jesse said he got y'all mesmerized. That's why y'all want that camera. Y'all can't
Jesse
focus.
back here,
You know what I'm
Jesse
saying?
back here looking for my sister every day, and she don't be on the call all the time.
Oh, you think that's just for her sister? That's for you too?
No, it ain't for me. No, Jesse. I'm
What sister
good.
you looking for, Jesse? You can't take one of mine now, Jesse.
I'm straight. Don't.
Nah, I ain't trying to get beat up by you today. I got enough getting beat up by y'all. Back there.
No, but
These
your boy got to
females, they
represent. You know
beat
what I'm
your ass
saying?
back there.
I
He be
come from
back here. He be back here looking for sin every day. We be like, sin ain't on the call.
Oh, that boy got something going on with good old sin, huh?
No, he's trying and he looking for his wife to wear a niqab and a hijab all at once. Look, now we got to see his car. Look. See, I told you.
What he whipping over there? I can't even see it from this end. He whipping.
Hey, Tom.
Okay.
Tom.
Huh?
I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah, that's just one of the whips. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my bad, big time. I'm bad, big time. Well, say it's one of the whips. That's his fun car. That's the weekend whip. That's the slab for Slab Sunday. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the real whip.
The other whip.
We want that white one. That white one clean in a minute. Was that a Scion or something?
Nah. I'm Toyota gang.
Oh, okay. What year is that one?
Ofo.
Oh, okay. But that bitch should be 04. What, you just bought that bitch or something? 'Cause that bitch look brand new.
I bought them brand new.
Oh, yeah, that bitch still look brand new.
So James,
What's up?
you don't think we could get you to sit down and have a talk with the brother DMG?
Me and DMG already had a talk. It really ain't got
Okay.
shit to do with DMG. It got shit to do with them other two motherfuckers. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, if you rolling with us, then you good. Like, I mean, if we bring it, it ain't gonna be none of that bullshit.
look, I hear y'all, but when I sit here and have someone beg me for over a year to do a debate,
Mm-hmm.
you get to the debate, motherfucker ain't even on topic of the debate. Then before the debate, you're literally telling the judges during the preliminary you want a certain
And
particular person to win.
may I
So I'm
ask you a
done with that.
question?
I will never debate on your
Nah, I
platform.
get you. Can I ask you a question? He wasn't the moderator, was he?
Doing. All right.
Craigs are in charge of all that stuff in the background. I
No,
know they are.
no.
Been knowing
Mm-mm.
them niggas
They
forever.
only run the versus series. They only run the versus series. Other
Well,
than that,
that's the only
we
thing
could
that
get
was going
Cannon
on.
up there. We could get Cannon. We could get DMG to host it. We could get Ivory to host it. One of us could host it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, just so you and DMG sit down. I don't know. I know you said you already talked, so I guess that's out the way. But just where Ivory, I don't know where the hell is Ivory at? Tonio, Tom,
I don't think
Tom.
they actually, I think they might have fell asleep on here or
He
something.
did. Babe, babe, Tonio. He did not stop. He knocked
Wake
out.
your ass up, Tony.
Look, hard working man right there. He probably think
Look
he
at
got
this
the
nigga.
phone on mute. Tonio,
Y'all didn't see Jesse just post for y'all in the mirror?
Jesse is always in the mirror.
I know, bro.
Antonio,
I'm starting to wonder, bro. What's going on, bro? I ain't telling you gay. I don't think you gay. Might be a little
Antonio,
metro though. No, I'm just playing. You muted right now, Jesse.
Tony, Antonio,
You talking, but you muted, Jesse.
Jesse, you on mute.
I said Allah has blessed the boy in many ways, man, and you know, I'm
Bet
sharing
that.
my blessings with the community.
I hope that's the Allah in reference to the God of Abraham, not the Arabic God Allah.
Oh well, Allah, there is only one God, and He's the God of Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, the
What about
descendants.
the ancient pantheon of Allah from
No,
the Arabia?
that's a false pantheon. That was something that
But
their forefathers
that
was
name older
supposedly.
than your usage of Allah, right? That usage.
Yeah, but it's incorrect according to the Quran. The Quran
So it's
comes.
kind of like the Canaanite pantheon where they had El, where the Israelites consider it still an equivalent of the same God. That's what you're saying. Like though it was an Allah pantheon, they consider the supreme deity an equivalent to the God of Abraham.
So Allah, there's only one creator of the heavens and earth. Allah is the correct name. You know, the people of before they took his name and dragged it. You know what I'm saying? That they didn't added their own stories to Allah's name. But you know, there's only one God, and it is the God
So,
of
Jesse,
Abraham.
do you believe Yahweh and Allah are the same God?
Yeah, Allah is going to be the correct pronunciation, the
Oh,
correct way
so
to.
Allah, the later pronunciation or
No,
usage in
no.
reference to the
Allah was,
God of
you know, you
Abraham is the
already know.
correct
Just
one?
like you said, Allah appears in the pantheon of many gods. Allah is prior to
I'm talking
Islam.
about its usage as it relates only to Abraham, God of Abraham, not the other deity that you agree is a pagan deity and shouldn't be recognized.
No, I think Allah was there from the beginning. You know, me personally, I believe that the people who call God Yahweh have really lost the God's name.
Mm.
You know, Yahweh or the tetragram was used to describe Allah, but
It is a description. I agree with that. It is a description.
because they thought that his name was too holy to be said out loud. So
But they do use the tetragrammaton is the name they think is too holy to say out loud, but it's more like one of them names that's used specifically by a specific group of people. It's like a sacred name, pretty much, like you were saying, that they won't often say. That's why it's different from the usage of El, as in the Canaanites usually, even though they will still consider El an equivalent to that deity. That's why I was asking you about it on that end. But I was just saying that as it relates to being the God of Abraham, that Allah, their usage is much later in time than
Oh,
the
God.
Yod Hey Wah Hey that was used
Tonio,
around
I'm
600
sorry.
BC.
Tonio,
yeah, well,
Tonio.
I think Allah is going to be the correct pronunciation. You know, when they say Yahweh or Yahweh, this is their best way of trying to
To
uh,
say Allah,
say Allah. You know, because
I thought El would be more of an equivalent to Allah. I mean, it's pretty much just a different way of saying the same thing.
Tonio.
I'm just asking.
this is very possible. You know, Allah has 99 names, so
Damn.
Yeah, because even like Jehovah, all these different names, the creator has the reason, and this is just my premise on it, you brothers, y'all could chime in if
Hmm.
y'all want. I feel like the creator has the story of the creator, right? The person that created everything or the
Hmm.
entity that created everything has been given to different people
Correct.
in the story that fits their people's story.
Hmm.
And for me it takes me back to the Tower of Babel, right? So because he had to split them up and make people speak different languages, this is why the creator has different names in different when it comes to different people. That's just my theory
I
on it.
would agree with that, and I would add on the fact that as people would have migrated and went to different regions, their
Mm-hmm.
society would have had different requirements for each region they're in. And
Right,
so
right.
the thing that's most required or held in the highest regard would therefore become their symbolism of their highest deity because it's the most needed thing in their environment.
But that's why, like for me, brother, I feel, and I tell everybody this, and him, he's my brother, but we get into it all the time.
Mhm.
Because I tell him that I do not feel like I need to take on a structured religion to have a spiritual relationship with the creator. Nature teaches me what I need to know about the creator. Just me being a spirit living this human experience teaches me what I need to know about the creator. You see what I'm saying? When I listen to that gut feeling, I feel like that's my direct uh telephone line to the creator. You see? So, but I don't feel like I need to step into any structured religion to have that relationship.
Now, I would agree, but I think that the structure, what it gives you is a foundation to build on. That's what I believe. You should use it as a foundation to build upon, right? Like, because like some people will use the Bible, but I don't think the Bible is the only thing you can build that foundation. I think you can use any wise saying, any type of wisdom literature to
But
build a foundation
yeah,
upon.
that's what I've done. I've explored many. You feel what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so I feel like some people do need the structure, right? And other people can just be living their spirit and connect with the spirit. Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
feel.
that's just my thing. I don't necessarily subscribe to any of the because I believe man has tampered with too many things.
No, I'm with you. I believe, but the individual rises out of the group though, always, right?
Mm-hmm. I
He
agree.
never rises on his own. So that's why I mean. That's what I mean, like the foundation, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
someone will be maybe in Christianity, then come to the point where you're at, right? And they're
Right.
like, well, Christianity may be my foundation, but I see that there's so much more that I can learn from. There's so
Right.
much
Because
more spirituality out there.
I was raised Jehovah Witness.
Hmm.
And I went to a Catholic school. So right there in my core years of learning, I was learning from Catholicism and Jehovah
Yeah.
Witness. You see what I'm saying? So as I
Hmm.
got older and I started to explore other things, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can take from this, I can take from that, I can take from that, I can take from that. But then I started to elevate my spirituality and get more connected with the source. Because I just believe we all are part of the source.
Yeah, and I believe wherever there's wisdom, wherever there's things that we can
Mhm.
find that are right and correct, that God is in it because God is supposed to be wisdom. He's supposed to
Right.
be knowing of all things that are right and an embodiment of all things that are right. So I
Right.
fully recognize that other spiritual systems have correct things in them that we should draw
Mhm.
from. Even Solomon in the Bible says that we should draw from other wisdom from other places. We shouldn't just lean on our own understanding. And not he don't go into all that. I'm paraphrasing that, but he does
Right.
say we should draw wisdom from other places. Like we should. Like why be what y'all call it in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? Why
Right.
be in a bubble? You got to explore different things. You got to go out there and extract what's good from there and throw away the rest of that shit. But you got to go look for it.
Right.
Wisdom ain't waiting. Wisdom ain't sitting there looking for you. It's waiting for you to find it.
I just feel like, even when in terms of structured religion, I don't even knock it, right? Because I've seen some people step into these religions and become better people. So I just be like, let people deal with what they want to deal with if it makes them a better person. Like I don't
Yeah,
knock none of it.
yeah, and a lot of that comes down to just community, the people you're around, how those people around you act and carry themselves. Because even if
Hmm.
they faking it around you, it still rubs off on you, right? Because you
Right.
start wanting to act the right kind of way when you're around them, and then next thing
Yeah.
you know, in your regular life, you start acting that way. So that's what that community brings. You know what I'm saying? Being around people who supposed to have the like mind, so they'll move towards that and act that way and promote goals towards that, and that helps the individual grow to be better.
Because I used to, like, growing up, I used to get in trouble all the time because I always had questions, whether it was in school to the nuns, because back then in Catholic school, we had nuns and priests. We didn't have just regular teachers. And so I would go to school because I'm learning this at home as a, my grandmother's a Jehovah's Witness and I'm going to the Kingdom Hall. I'm doing all these things. I would question them and then I would turn around and question my grandmother, but I would get in trouble all the time because things just, as a young child, some of the things that were being taught to me didn't resonate with my spirit and it didn't add up.
And that's something I hate about, I say, some religious schools and a lot of the black community in general. We're taught not to question our parents, right? Like even
Right.
me growing up, you can ask questions to a certain limit. When they get to the exhaustion of what they know, they start getting annoyed, right?
Uh-huh.
And you as a child, you just curious. You're expecting them to know these type of answers or point you in the right direction because they've been on this planet so long. You figure they've been thought about this shit, right?
But even
So
like now, my son go to Catholic school, and I talk to him about not allowing himself to be indoctrinated by the religious studies. Now, if you're interested and you want to learn more about it, then I'm all for it. Let's do it together, right? But I really, really talked to him about indoctrination into Catholicism. Because I just be looking at them people like, y'all got to stop with this shit.
yeah, like me growing up, I was always, since the time I could read, the only thing they could get me to read was like mythology, like different
Mm-hmm.
religious type mythologies and stuff growing up. So like my dad used to buy me them, so I used to always read that stuff. That's why I like always know like weird stuff about people's mythology and stuff like that. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've always, my whole life, been interested in that.
That's
And then
crazy
they
because
start
I
making it more
love
academic now.
mythology. I love mythology. Like even with Greek mythology, I really
Hmm.
like Greek mythology and I've always have since I was young. But as I started to get, I started to come into my own, I started to realize like, hold on, all these stories are the same.
So exactly. It's about human nature at the end of the day. All
Uh-huh.
the stories are about human nature at the end of the day. And you're
Because
describing
even
human nature as best you can so future generations can learn from it.
mhm.
Well,
Because even when you look up the etymology of mythos, it says oral tradition
exactly.
except when it comes to religion. And I was like,
Yeah, mind if I say
that's,
something?
Well, go
that.
ahead.
So I just got two verses that I'm going to read to y'all.
Oh, here we go with Jesse.
Look, the best way that I can teach my religion is saying what's said directly. I can tell y'all what my religion says, but it does not hold the same similitude
Go
as
ahead,
Jesus.
Jesse. Go ahead,
Okay.
Jesse. Read your story.
It says this is going to be Quran 3:19. It says, "Indeed, the religion in the sight of Allah is Islam, and those who were given the scripture did not differ except after knowledge had come to them, out of jealous animosity between themselves. And whoever disbelieves in the verses of Allah, then indeed Allah is swift in taking account." And then I'm going to read one more. This is going to be Quran 9:33. It is he who sent his messenger with guidance and the religion of truth to manifest it over all religion, although those who associate others with Allah dislike it.
Okay,
So,
But see, Jesse, this is where I have a problem at. You know my issue with it. I believe that each people had their own spiritual book. And I understand that Islam, Prophet Muhammad was sent for the Arabs and their lawlessness. And remember, the brother pulled out a scripture that it said it was for his people that spoke his language. So I honestly, wholeheartedly cannot say that Islam is for everybody. I don't even think the Bible is for everybody. I believe the Bible and the Quran are books that are meant for a certain bloodlines out of one family.
so Islam is made for the entirety of the world. That one verse that I just read, the 9:33,
It says that it was made to manifest over all religions. So with that being said, there's another verse I'm going to pull up in a second, but just based
Yeah, I
off of
think the
that one,
Persians created Islam, to be honest. That's my thought. But
well, the Prophet
the
Muhammad is not Persian.
Iranians, huh?
Okay, I was going to say
That's
the Prophet,
interesting.
The first Persian Empire and the Iranians, they've been in bed together for a very long time. And they've created a lot of things like Zoroastrianism and a bunch of other stuff
Oh,
historically.
I have a weird view on Zoroastrianism as being actually a derivation of the Hebrew
Yeah, but it was
spiritual
the
system.
first Persian Empire that created it. Actually, I could send you this
Yeah,
video. It's
Azura
like 2
Mazda.
hours long.
Yeah,
2
Azura
hours
Mazda
long.
was in Persia, but it was also at the
hmm
same time the Israelites were in Persia as captives. That's
I
my
mean, I
point.
believe you. It could be, right? It could be. I'm not even arguing with you
So either
about it.
one is drawing a lot from the other. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Like, I listen. One thing you'll learn about me, and this is why I'm a contrarian.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people back here believe that I believe in pseudo stuff. No, I believe in the possibility of everything. And a lot of people in the back chat think that's pseudo, but it's really not, because guess what? I wasn't there for none of it. And I'm not going to believe you just because you said it. And that comes to science, academia, and everything. I don't believe none of these people.
It does clash with a certain logical view that if anything is possible, then nothing is possible.
Yeah, I believe that.
But that would mean that it's impossible for anything to be possible. That's kind of the point of that.
Well, no, it's really not, right? Because guess what? This the realm we live in. Anything's possible. And like I'm a believer. I'm one of those people who I know everything about nothing. You get it? You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I okay. So do you believe pigs can get wings and fly?
Hey, listen. It may be
I
possible.
I believe that is scientifically impossible.
Well,
And I don't believe God. I don't
I have
believe
a
God
problem with
moved.
science. I have a problem with science. Not all science, but some parts, especially when it comes to them telling us a history. I don't believe shit them people say. I'm gonna be honest with you, because after when you start learning that they done omitted things and lied about things, at what point do you trust them? Like, let's just look at the whole, we stole you from another land, we brought you over here on boats, but then I'm gonna trust you to tell me who I really am after you done reclassified my people 9 times?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and argue that there hasn't been
That
an
was just
extreme amount
that
of
was just an
bullshit
analogy.
in science. No, I'm
Right.
saying it's been a extreme, but a lot of what's coming out today since like I say 2015 ish,
Mm-mm.
pushing towards that. A lot of that they're literally saying in their academic literature, wait, this was just academic racism. This was just wrong. This is what's correct. Like a lot of stuff that a lot of people talking about, especially a lot of the evolution stuff, a lot of that stuff is being completely viewed differently in academia now. Like single
Mhm.
cell